I am Rebecca McArthur, one of the attorneys here at Campbell & Brandon in our in-town office, and I'm going to talk today about special stipulations. I know that they can trip us up sometimes, so I have some helpful tips for you. First of all, I want to make sure everybody has always seen our big triangle in all of the different sales meetings and classes that we teach about what trumps what when it comes to a contract. And I'm sure all of you know, but special stipulations are very, very close to the top. They trump most everything else in the contract. The only thing that can take over for a special stipulation is the amendatory clause, which trumps everything, or an amendment that comes after your initial contract with that special stipulation in it. Otherwise, that special stip controls over any other boilerplate, exhibits, and so forth in that initial contract. So they are very, very good to use when you want to clarify or add to your initial contract. So just some little tips about it. First of all, seek out help because they are helpful, but they can also get you into trouble if they're poorly written. So you always have your brokers you can reach out to. They can help you. They probably have dealt with this exact same situation before and have a good special stipulation for you to use in your contract. GAR also has a great database of the special stipulations that you can pull from for different scenarios that will also help you and not having to recreate the wheel on that. And then lastly, go to other agents in your office, and we're always useful as well. And you're gonna be hearing more about this soon because Campbell & Brandon is coming up with a special stipulation bank for y'all to access, which will be a huge use for you guys depending on the topic and what you need. And these are special stipulations that we have either seen, come up with, or vetted through the years that will give you a good starting point for your needs. So when you go about writing a special stipulation, it's kind of going back to third grade. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You really want to kind of go through and answer those questions, and that's going to get you the basic outline of exactly what you're going to end up with for that special stipulation by answering those specific questions. You should nail down the details that are going to give you a good special stipulation. The other thing is you want to kind of think through worst case scenario. So what's the worst thing that can happen? This doesn't get accomplished, the work isn't done correctly, somebody doesn't move out as they were supposed to, however or whatever the stipulation is calling for, think through worst case scenario, and you want to address that and figure out, okay, if this worst case scenario happens, then what's going to be the remedy? Is money going to be owed? Are we going to extend closing? How is this going to come to fruition at the end if your who, what, when, why, and how one of those pieces is not accomplished as it was supposed to? Kind of along those same lines, you want to make sure that your special stipulations are written objectively as possible. So you don't want a bunch of subjective language in there where we're then going to have to figure out, well, what did you mean by to your satisfaction? You really do need to be specific. Do you want a licensed contractor? Is there a specific company that you want something done? Do you have a specific dollar amount that needs to be handled through the transaction or through the work being accomplished with the special stipulation? You really want to think through those nuances and be specific and take out any subjectivity that could then be swayed one way or the other when making decisions on whether that special stipulation was satisfied. So just a couple of little examples we're going to go through here. You may have heard these about in your sales meetings, but something that we've seen, and I actually was just dealing one with it the other day, was about a home warranty. And the home warranty says seller agrees to provide a home warranty not less than $650. Well, there's a lot about that special stipulation that can bring about uncertainty. So first of all, who do you get the home warranty from? Is there a special company? Is there a special plan? Do you want anything specific covered in the home warranty? Also, they say not less than $650. Well, all of a sudden now they're not capping that, and now the buyer's thinking that that seller's going to go off and get a home warranty worth $1,500. And because it wasn't written in there with more certainty, there's an unknown that with that stipulation is not clarified correctly. And then otherwise, we just want to discuss the fact of the duration, and then what happens if you don't get it along those lines. Is there a preferred warranty? Who's ordering the warranty? We just need as much detail as possible. Kind of along the same lines here, seller to provide a termite letter to the buyer. Well, that sounds all fine and dandy, but what happens if that termite letter comes back and it's not clear? Well, what did we not include? Remedies. What happens next? So that, again, is just something you want to think through. What's worst case scenario? The house is all of a sudden eaten alive by termites, and all you ask them to do is give you a clean letter. give you a letter, and all of a sudden it comes back and it's not clean and you have not addressed that. So that's another one where it just isn't enough information. So ultimately, we do want to make sure that you do have the information going forward with Campbell and Brannan, putting out their own special stipulation library, and it is going to be on the resources tab of our website. It's resources.campbellandbrannan.com/stipulations, and this will be going out with more detail, and you'll be able to access that very, very easily. When in doubt, hopefully that stipulation that you need will be right at your fingertips. When in doubt, always give us a call at Campbell and Brannan.